here people say that this high inflation is because of high demand and the economy is overheating. And I think even if one is a government supporter or supporter of these policies, this is a very dangerous argument to make. It's a dangerous argument to make because China grows at 10+% for so many years and it doesn't overheat. India grows at 7+% for the last 10 years and India doesn't overheat. That means that your supply side, your supply capacity is so incredibly weak that with 3 years of 5+% of growth, your economy overheats. So whether all of this is going to work itself out, let's see, but these are important areas. High capital intensity, you see jobs, where is the investment coming in? Oil and gas, in services, in high-tech services. Very little in industry, in the construction sector, again cornered by certain groups and certain companies which are becoming much more capital intensive. The issue of reserves. The issue of reserves, and you're absolutely right. I think that the trend is reversed. We went into a current account surplus for 2 years or 3 years. This year there was a current account deficit premised on the highest trade deficit in Pakistan's history. Highest trade deficit ever. And it is not because of high oil prices only. High oil prices contribute not more than 20% to this trade deficit. So as a result, what happens is your reserves start they are being drawn down, and if this trend continues, in 5 years we're going to be again getting into a debt trap.
Can I just add on something here, Kaiser Saab? Another reason for this, like you're saying, could be that, with so much privatization going on, we have a big tranche coming in from the Etisalat group in September for PTCL. It is, if the government takes that if the privatization proceeds and puts it into the deficit level, then obviously it is not putting it into the development sector. So at the end of the day, you are really back to square one. Because that is how the government is defining this, the proceeds from privatization. We don't know where the proceeds from privatization are going to be, under what heading or under what account it is going to be put. If it's going to go back into deficit, then you're back again to where you started off from.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a very rich discussion on what it will take to reduce poverty. Of course, that discussion has had a lot of depth. We've discussed where we went wrong, what is wrong today. One common element that we see in Pakistan in the last 58 years, we have a lot of growth, a lot of planning, different governments, different approaches. But the elite of this country, the rich of this country, have never suffered. Their economic conditions have continued to improve in spite of all the crises that we have faced. And whether times are good or times are bad, the poor continue to pay the price of all the crises that we have faced. There was talk of excess liquidity. We have a phenomena today that the credit-rich elite is enjoying economic prosperity, but the cost of that prosperity is being made to pay by the poor in terms of high inflation, something that is referred to. We have growth that is highly unequal in terms of income, income classes, in terms of region, even in terms of gender, something that Qazi Qadri elaborated upon. Over and above, we have a political structure that Jafri Saab has been referring to that has not led to allocating resources for poverty reduction because it is low on the political agenda. The The military needs come first, economic infrastructure needs come second, social development comes third, and poverty reduction is a residual. If after achieving all these targets, poverty reduction happens, it's fine. Otherwise, we will have to wait for some future date for poverty reduction. Clearly, there are structural issues that have been brought out. The economy, the way it is structured, the political structure, the economic structure are not geared for poverty reduction. And the lesson that we learned from today's discussion is that we will need a fair amount of social transformation of how society is structured, how different social classes relate to each other, how economic policy making takes place. Unless and until this fundamental restructuring of society and of government policy making does not take place, we may not be able to achieve the target. We may miss 2015 in terms of reducing poverty by half. Thank you very much.